Hey there, Mission Control. Today we got quite a few projects to get to. Let's see if I can do them from memory. We were short a little bit of lava rock when we were filling up lane 2. That was the last lane we filled up when we redid everything. And so I went and just got some lava rock from Home Depot. It wasn't worth paying the delivery fee to have a big truck come up here. So went and got that. We're also going to pour a slab today, just a small slab in front of the door that goes into the building. And we're going to do that because last year when the ground melts, you get a bunch of snow on it and then it melts where you walk in, and then that penetrated down and then it froze and it actually lifted the ground up when all that water was trying to get up as it got cold outside as in the form of ice. And that blocked the door. Ding, ding, ding. So then you had to chisel it all out. Don't want to do that. So going to put a nice slab in front of it, and we're also going to start building a porch in front of the building so that the snow will actually fall off and not block the door, so it's easier to get in and out, and we can build an airlock on that particular porch so that we can help keep it warmer inside of the building. So we got those to do. And we're going to install the last 2 automation boxes and build some cables. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, well, I'm not the world's greatest mason. But I think this turned out good enough. What we got to do now is let it all dry. Oh, and we got to put the final touches on it. Let me show you that. Okay. I love my wife Alicia. Every time I pour cement, I put a little reminder in there that'll be there forever. So we got this all done. I see the water's coming up off of it. It's starting to cure. We're gonna let it cure, pray that the dogs don't run out here and run right through it. Now it's time to move on to lava rock. I want to take a quick moment to show you why it's important that we put this rock in here. Now, I am covering up some plants and stuff, and they'll probably just sprout back up right through the rocks, or they'll decompose and the worms that we have in the bed will eat them, so I'm not worried about that. But what I am worried about is algae. Algae is like a weed in aquaponic systems. We don't want it in there. And how it grows is when the aquaponic water comes above the rock line, then all those nutrients and everything that are in that water, they're exposed to sunlight, and algae can land in here, blown in on the wind, and just start growing and just really bloom. So we want to get this rock level up to the bed level so that we can grow everything in here and create a nice culture for the bacteria. And in order to do that, you need like 10 to 12 inches of depth in your grow bed to really establish a nice healthy culture of bacteria. So we want to get this all raised up here. You can kind of see it's significantly higher. It's almost 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches higher on this particular bed. So we want to get it raised up, and there's a few other ones that we just ran out of rock on, so we want to get them all filled up. That's why we're doing this. Got to kill the algae. Guys, I'm beat. Boy, my boy. I had so much more to do on my list today, but it looked inviting just to sit here or lay here. I just got done moving all the rock, and came out real nice. I like it. Easy job. Expected it to come out nice. And now I'm sitting here and I'm staring at the ceiling, and I'm thinking about insulation. I wanted to share this with you guys. So, you know, we did the big trade study and we talked about insulation. We talked about all the different ways we could do it. And leading candidate was, two leading candidates were insulating the inside of the building with custom made, or doing a double layer of polyethylene and inflating it. When I did the math, the double layer of polyethylene provided an insulation value, an R value of 1.75. That required us to have about 300,000 BTU of heat in order to heat this building. If we increase the R value up to R 7.5, then we reduce the amount of BTU and thus the amount of money we have to spend to heat this building almost fourfold, almost fivefold actually. Goes from 300,000 down to 75,000 BTU per hour. So polyethylene went out of there. And then I found the supplier up in Canada, and I've been disappointed with customer service these days, I guess you could say. It seems to be a pattern in my life. And you know, I was trained in sales. I did sales for a while. That's why I'm kind of so hard on people is, if I'm going to give you a bunch of my money, I expect you to treat me with dignity and respect. And I expect you to actually work for it. So I'm not actually there just to give you my money to make you feel good about yourself. I'm there because you have something that I would like to use or have, and I'd like you to show me that you're the right company for me to give you $10,000. So I did the math on how much it would cost to insulate the inside of the building. It comes out to be like $9,000, right? And I tried to call this company multiple times. I call them, I email them. There's multiple days going between response on emails. And then I call them, I'm like, I'm on a deadline. I really need to know if you guys, you know, want to help me and if you can. And oh, yes sir, okay, well send us the stuff. So I got the measurements taken. So it took me a few days to do that, and then I sent it up to them. Then I didn't hear anything. So then I call them, email them. Please call me. Want to know if you got this. Nothing. So, needs to say I'm pretty disappointed in it. And if they're giving me this level of service before I even give them money, you know, why is it that I have to give you all my money before you treat me with dignity and respect? Return my phone calls, you know, and then when you don't get back to me, why is it that you don't even say I'm sorry? Why do? I mean, anyway, I'm tired. So I say all that to say I'm not super excited about this company. So now I don't really want to commit to a company that doesn't want to commit to me, that doesn't care about me, that doesn't respond to my phone calls or emails within days, not even hours that I'm expecting. Just, you know, like a day or two would be good. 2 business days would be kind of standard. A business day would be better. And so anyway, I sent out probably 8 emails to different companies. I called people, had different responses. Most companies that have buildings like this that do insulation, they only do insulation for their buildings, and they have policies where they will not do insulation for other buildings in case they mess it up and hurt the building or what have you, or mess up the structure, you know, different engineering. I get that. That makes sense. So I had one good one come back to me, and it really made me stop and think. Actually, I had two. So there's one out of China, I Grow Organic. Actually, they're based out of the United States. They have a guy in China that's there to deal with the manufacturing side, but they're based out of the US. And they do greenhouses, and they're pretty awesome greenhouses. In fact, we're seriously considering doing one of their greenhouses for HAB 2. Really great structures. And
they might be able to come up with, in their structures, what they do is, this is your building. They have basically a big cloth that comes up over the top of the building, has like an R20 value. Oh, that would be awesome. And then what happens, since it's on the outside of the building, during the day, it has articulating arms that convert it back to let the sun in. That's a pretty cool idea. So that's one. That's a leading candidate. And the second one is, what is it? The batten insulation. So fiberglass batting with polyethylene on the outside of it that's white. It would completely black out the building if we did the entire inside of it, but check out the cost. It's like $4,000 to completely black out this entire building with really high R value insulation that will last a long time. I got two concerns with that. First, I can't let that insulation touch the ground because if I do, mice are going to find it, and they are going to like this place would turn into like mice heaven. It would be the Shangri-La of the mice. The mice would be everywhere. The mices, they'd be like Pinky and the Brain. They would be able to plan to take over the world from this place. It would be nuts. So we'd have to even probably put like little bands of pokies around every single place where metal came down, and the mice could actually crawl up so that they couldn't get up into that insulation. So okay, we can do that. Problem number two. If you black out this entire building, you have to amp up your LED usage and the cost of electricity. So in the wintertime, when it's dark, and that's kind of a big niche for us, is to be able to work through winter. It's not really that big a deal because it's so dark that you're going to need to have all the lights on anyway. But in the summertime, we save a bunch of money when we don't have to run those lights. So, what to do if we black out this building? It only costs $4,000 and not the $10,000 that it costs to buy that custom insulation from the company up north that doesn't want to work with me. And that's $6,000 worth of savings. So, as I sit here and look up at the ceiling, some ideas come to my mind. So I'm going to grab the camera, I'm going to point out some of these things. If I can move. It feels really good just to lay here. Okay, come on Jeff, you can do it. Oh boy. Alright, so here's the first deal. Over here is the north side of the building. That's the south side of the building. Sun during the highest days pretty much will be over here. So here's an idea. What if we did blackout insulation all the way along the north side of the building up to maybe right there, that crossbar? And then this is where it gets nuts. What if from that crossbar right there all the way up to that one right there, what if we cut the ceiling all the way down? We'd have to use a metal strip on the outside and bolt it to this cross member, bolt this, or screw it in, excuse me. We'd have to screw the top to that to hold it in place. And what if underneath of that, where we put the cross member at, and then we screw everything down, what if in between the cross member and the fabric of the building we put clear polyethylene, so that we would actually have a clear roof from that point. Let me go back. From this point all the way over to that line right there. And then we go blackout insulation, and on the end and on this end we go all blackout as well. So I think that's worthy of thinking about and kicking it in play with you guys. We would have to use, like I said, metal strips or something on top of the building before we cut it. We'd have to screw them into the cross members on each of the horizontal cross members that run east-west. And then we'd have to take the razor knife and cut into the building and probably roll some of that fabric back over the top of the metal and then bolt it back down again, make it a really good seam, and then put the plastic underneath of it before we put all the screws in. I always keep getting that one out. But that would give us, let me take you back to that. That would give us clear plastic basically over this entire part of the building. Be more like a traditional greenhouse. So if we did that, the positives would be that we have a lot more sunlight coming through. So we wouldn't need as many LEDs and we would have more growing capacity. But in the winter, that still doesn't solve the insulation problem, though it does allow more heat to come in when the sun is out during the winter, so we use less propane. So that's a good thing. That kind of offsets the lack of insulation there. But at night, when it gets cold, we would start pumping heat in the building again. So it would be good if we can somehow create insulation over that area. So if I think the idea is to do blackout over the ends, both ends, and then the north side, and then figure out how in the world we could actually do some form of insulation over that clear stuff that we just put up. Boy, if we could do that. That might do it for us. Boy, oh boy, that might really, really do it. So, I wanted to kick that in play with you guys. Sorry I'm laying here. This actually I'm not sorry I'm laying here. This feels really good just to kind of chill, kind of brainstorm with you guys, see what you think. I'm gonna get up, go put this video together, let you guys see it tonight, and then maybe have some good comments over the night and tomorrow, and really start thinking about it some more. I hate the idea of cutting into the building. So I could, sorry, before I finish, I could call the manufacturer and see if they could build that cover for us. That would work. Or what, how about this? Let me show you again. What if I just told them I want the north side of the building from the peak to be the white fabric, and I want this entire side to be clear. And then I just, basically I would take down this cover and I would put up that cover. And could that get me anything? Could I then reuse this cover as insulation on the inside somehow? Because it's big enough. But the thing is so darn heavy that putting it up by myself would be near impossible. Nothing's impossible, just highly improbable, right? So, boy, okay, there you go. There's some thoughts. I'm curious to know what your thoughts. I know a lot of you really love the double-walled polyethylene, and it is a really good solution, but it is not enough insulation value for us. So we got to move past that, and we got to get to something that has the higher insulation value. So help me solve this problem. Love to know what you guys' thoughts are. Hope you enjoyed this video. Got some work done today. The pad's coming out nice. I'll show you it when it's all dried. We got the rock in, and now we're thinking about insulation and what we're gonna do there. If you guys do know a company that would do this, that would help me out, because like I said, I sent out like 8 emails plus the one, and I'm just having some bad luck finding folks that actually want to help me. So send me some information if you actually know someone. Don't send me information. Please don't send me information with just like, here's a company that I found, because I did that already, and they don't care. I think it's just not enough money for them. So anyway, which is a shame. Okay, enough of that. Time to go have a beer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well, everyone. In the meantime, this is The Real Martian. Out.